"You're too sensitive, Kieran. That's always been your problem." My mother said it from across the table at a diner in Phoenix, her coffee going cold between her hands, her eyes not quite meeting mine. I was 16 years old, sitting across from the woman who'd left me at my grandmother's house 3 years earlier with a duffel bag and a promise to come back. She hadn't come back. Not for birthdays, not for holidays, not for my freshman year of high school when I'd needed her most. She'd called occasionally, made excuses, sent cards with $20 bills like that could replace presents. And now, finally face to face, when I'd asked her why she left, she'd given me that. Too sensitive. "I needed to find myself," she continued, stirring sugar into her coffee for the third time. "You were always so emotional. Everything was a crisis. I couldn't breathe." I stared at her, feeling something inside me go very still and very quiet. "I was 13, I said. "Exactly. Old enough to understand. Your grandmother was happy to take you. It worked out for everyone. Everyone except me." She sighed. "See? This is what I mean. Too sensitive." I stood up, left money for my meal on the table, walked out into the Arizona heat without looking back. That was 22 years ago. I didn't see her again until she showed up at my door with tears streaming down her face, asking for help she didn't deserve. And this time I had a choice. Give her what she'd never given me, or teach her what abandonment actually feels like. My name is Kieran Ashford, and I'm 38 years old. I'm a trauma therapist in Seattle, specializing in childhood abandonment and attachment disorders. The irony isn't lost on me. My mother's name is Vanessa. She was 25 when she had me, 38 when she left. She'd been a single mom my whole life. My father nothing more than a name on a birth certificate and a vague memory of someone who didn't stick around. Growing up, it was just us. Me and her against the world, or so I thought. She worked long hours, complained about being tired, about how hard everything was, about how she'd given up so much to have me. I learned early to be easy, to not ask for too much, to swallow my feelings so she wouldn't feel burdened by them. When I was 13, she started dating someone. A guy named Troy who worked construction, who laughed too loud and drank too much. She changed around him, became someone lighter, younger, less weighed down by motherhood. One night, she sat me down at the kitchen table. "Troy got a job in Phoenix. We're moving." "When?" "Next month." "Okay." I'd started mentally packing already. New city, new school. It would be fine. "Actually," she said, not meeting my eyes, "I think it would be better if you stayed here, with Grandma." The words didn't make sense at first. "What do you mean?" "Just for a while, until we get settled. Then you can come join us." "How long is a while?" "A few months, maybe a year. Grandma's getting older. She could use the company." "But I'm your son." "I know, baby, but this is an opportunity for me, for us, and you're doing so well here, with school and your friends. It doesn't make sense to uproot you." I felt something crack inside me. "You're leaving me." "I'm not leaving you. I'm giving you stability. There's a difference." But there wasn't. Not really. And we both knew it. She left 2 weeks later, packed her things, hugged me tight, promised to call every day. "It's just temporary, baby. I'll be back before you know it." She called once a week for the first month, then once every 2 weeks, then occasionally, then barely at all. My grandmother, bless her, tried her best, but she was 74, on a fixed income, and suddenly raising a teenage boy she hadn't planned for. She loved me, but she was tired, and I knew, even at 13, that I was another burden she hadn't asked for. I spent my teenage years waiting for my mother to come back. Every phone call, every birthday, every holiday, I expected her to show up and say it had all been a mistake. She never did. When I was 16, she finally agreed to meet me. She was in Phoenix for Troy's sister's wedding, and she had an afternoon free. I took a bus to the diner, nervous and hopeful and angry all at once. She looked good, tan, relaxed, happy in a way I'd never seen her when she was raising me. "Kieran, look at you, you're so tall." She hugged me like we were old friends catching up, not mother and son who hadn't seen each other in 3 years. We sat, ordered food, made small talk that felt like torture. Finally, I asked the question I'd been holding for 3 years. Why did you leave me? She flinched. I didn't leave you. I made a choice for both of us. You made a choice for yourself. That's not fair. I needed to start over. To build a life that wasn't just about being a mom. So you stopped being one? I'm still your mom. You're not here. Kieran, I call. I send money. I think about you all the time. But you don't come back. She looked away, uncomfortable. It's complicated. Troy and I were building something. And you were always so intense. Everything was emotional with you. You needed so much. I was a kid. I needed a mom. And you have grandma. That's not the same. It's close enough. She sighed. Look, I love you. But I also need to live my own life. You're old enough to understand that. I'm 16. Exactly. Almost an adult. You don't need me the way you did when you were little. That's when she said it. The words that would echo in my head for the next 2 decades. You're too sensitive, Kieran. That's always been your problem. You feel everything too much. I couldn't breathe around that. I felt something inside me go completely numb. So it's my fault you left. That's not what I'm saying. That's exactly what you're saying. I felt too much, so you ran away. I needed to find myself. And what did you find? She smiled. Not warmly. Defensively. Peace. Finally. I stood up. Left money on the table. Walked out. She called after me, but I didn't turn around. I walked to the bus stop, rode home, and told my grandmother I didn't want to talk about it. That night, I made a decision. My mother had abandoned me because I was too sensitive. Fine. I'd learn not to feel. I'd become someone who didn't need anyone. And I did. Sort of. I threw myself into school. Got good grades, earned scholarships, graduated high school early. Went to college in Seattle, as far from Arizona as I could get while staying in the country. I studied psychology, childhood development, trauma, the things that happen when parents leave and kids are left to make sense of it. My grandmother passed away when I was 21. My mother came to the funeral. We didn't speak beyond polite condolences. She asked if I was okay. I said yes. She looked relieved and left the next day. I went to grad school. Got my license, started my practice, built a career helping people process the exact trauma I'd lived through. My mother called occasionally, birthdays, holidays, surface-level conversations that felt like checking a box. I was polite, distant, fine. She never apologized, never acknowledged what she'd done, just kept pretending we were a normal family who'd experienced a temporary separation. I dated, never seriously. Every relationship ended the same way. They'd get close, I'd pull away. They'd call me distant, unavailable. They weren't wrong. One therapist I saw in my late 20s said it plainly. You're afraid if you need anyone, they'll leave. So you've decided not to need anyone. Is that wrong? It's safe. But it's also lonely. She was right. But lonely felt better than abandoned. I was 37 when she called. Her voice shaking in a way I'd never heard. Kieran, I need to talk to you. Okay. Not on the phone. Can I come see you? Why? Please. I'll explain when I get there. Something in her voice made me agree. Fine. When? Next week. She showed up on a Tuesday afternoon, looking older than I expected. Grayer. Thinner. Worn down by something I couldn't name yet. We sat in my living room, coffee between us, silence stretching. I'm sick, she said finally. What kind of sick? Cancer. Stage 3. I've been doing treatment, but... She trailed off. It's not going well. I felt something twist in my chest. Not quite sympathy. Something more complicated. I'm sorry, I said. They want to do more aggressive treatment. But I can't do it alone. Troy left 2 years ago. My friends from Phoenix, they all drifted. And I realized I don't have anyone. Why are you telling me this? Because you're my son. And I need you. The words hung there, heavy and ironic. You need me, I repeated. Yes. Now you need me. Kieran. Where were you when I needed you? When I was 13 and scared and didn't understand why my mother left. When I was 16 and asked you why you abandoned me, and you called me too sensitive. I know I made mistakes. Mistakes? You chose peace over your child. You decided I felt too much, so you just stopped being my mother. I was young. I was overwhelmed. And I was 13. She started crying. I don't know what you want me to say. I want you to acknowledge what you did. Not as a mistake. As a choice. You chose yourself over me. And now that you need something, you're back. I'm dying, Kieran. Maybe. But you've been dead to me for 22 years. She stared at me. You can't mean that. Why not? You taught me not to need anyone. Congratulations. It worked. I'm asking for help. From my son. That's not wrong. No. But expecting it after what you did? That's something else entirely. She stood, shaking. I came here hoping you'd show compassion. That you'd be bigger than your anger. And I came to Phoenix at 16 hoping you'd show remorse. We're both disappointed. She walked to the door, stopped. If you don't help me, I might die alone. Then you'll know how I felt for most of my childhood. She left. I sat in my living room until the sun went down, feeling nothing and everything at once. For 2 weeks I didn't call, didn't reach out, tried to go about my life like that conversation hadn't happened. But my clients kept showing up with the same story. Parents who'd failed them, left them, hurt them. And every session I told them the same thing. Forgiveness isn't for them. It's for you. Holding on to anger only hurts you. But was I holding on to anger? Or was I protecting myself from someone who'd proven she couldn't be trusted? Ramona, a colleague I'd started dating recently, asked me about it over dinner. What are you going to do? I don't know. Do you want to help her? No. Yes. I don't know. What's stopping you? The fact that she never apologized. Never took responsibility. Just showed up needing something and expected me to give it. So you want an apology first? I want acknowledgement. I want her to see what she did. Not justify it, not minimize it. Just see it. Have you told her that? I hadn't, because part of me didn't think she was capable of it. But another part, the part that worked with traumatized kids every day, knew that people could change. If they wanted to badly enough. I called her. Mom. Kieran. She sounded surprised. Hopeful. I'll help you. But I have conditions. Okay. You need to go to therapy. With me. Family therapy. We process what happened, you take actual responsibility, and we figure out if there's anything salvageable here. Kieran, I don't have time for. Then you don't have time for my help. Those are my terms. Silence. Then quietly, okay, I'll do it. We started therapy the next week. Dr. Morrison, a family therapist I respected, sat across from us in her office while we unpacked 22 years of damage. My mother was defensive at first. I did the best I could. Did you? Dr. Morrison asked. Or did you do what was easiest for you? That's not fair. Fair would have been showing up for your son. This is just honest. Over weeks, slowly, painfully, my mother started to break. Started to see what I'd been trying to tell her for years. I was scared, she admitted during one session. You needed so much and I didn't know how to give it. So I ran. And blamed me for needing it. I added. Yes. Her voice cracked. I told myself you were too sensitive, so I didn't have to admit I was too selfish. It was the first real apology. Not excuses, not justifications. Just truth. I abandoned you, she continued, tears streaming. And I told myself it was temporary, but I knew I wasn't coming back. And I let you hope anyway because it was easier than admitting I was a coward. I felt something in my chest loosen. Not forgiveness, not yet. But possibility. My mother lived. The aggressive treatment worked. She's in remission now, living in a small apartment in Seattle. Close enough to see regularly but not so close we're on top of each other. We have dinner once a week. Talk on the phone a few times between. It's not perfect, but it's real. She still slips sometimes, makes comments that sting. But she catches herself now. Apologizes. Tries again. I'm learning, she told me recently. How to be your mom. 25 years late, but learning. Better late than never. Is it though? Better? I thought about it. It's something, and something is more than nothing. Here's what I learned. Being called too sensitive is often code for, you make me confront things I don't want to feel. My mother left because I needed too much. But what I needed was normal. What wasn't normal was her inability to provide it. When she came back years later needing help, I had a choice. I could have turned her away, let her feel the abandonment she'd given me. But I didn't. Not because she deserved it, but because I deserved to know I was bigger than her mistakes. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's not excusing. It's choosing to stop letting someone else's failure define your capacity for compassion. My mother said I was too sensitive. She was right. I felt things deeply. I still do. But that's not a flaw. It's the reason I can help people heal. The reason I can show up. The reason I can choose connection even when it's been weaponized against me. If you've ever been called too much or too sensitive by someone who was really just too little, I want you to know, your feelings are valid, your needs are reasonable, and the people who made you feel otherwise were wrong. Have you ever been abandoned and then asked to show up when the person who left needed you? What did you do? Tell me your story, and subscribe for more stories about healing, boundaries, and choosing yourself even when everyone else chose to leave.